Who the hell can wait till morning? Talk now at latenightsportsradio.com.
The 87 Sports Fans Live, Keith Grieve and Steve Taylor here. The first segment, we had Ranen Shulman, 87sportsfans.com's Western Conference blogger, talking some great NBA Western Conference basketball, All-Star Game reactions. Steve and I held back the nausea of talking about the All-Star Game.
You know, and it makes me think back to, I really believe the last great All-Star Game was the one in Orlando where Magic played after not playing because of the AIDS issue he had. And he had that final three-pointer backing up Isaiah. That to me was, after that All-Star game, you know, I don't think anything else could come close.
It wasn't so much AIDS as it was HIV.
HIV.
Oh, gosh. Anyway. So we are moving on, talking Major League Baseball. Top of the hour, Jim Saranteas from thefantasygreek.com will join us to talk NFL, but right now we're going to talk about America's national past its time, Major League Baseball. The phone number, if you want to comment or join the discussion, 585-633-7487. That's 585-633-7487. We'll take your calls at any time. Just don't worry about interrupting us, kids. We're big men. We can handle it. So
we're so close to pitchers and catchers, aren't we?
They're there. They're there, dude.
Pitchers they are there. That's what I thought.
Pitchers and catchers are there, dude. 49 days until opening day. 49 wonderful, wonderful days.
Man, there better be a huge change in the weather in the Northeast. Hell, even in Kentucky right now, it's like 2 feet of snow. So.
Yeah. In fact, you know what? I think. Do I have this queued? Will this queue up nicely?
Through all the years, Ray, it's been baseball.
We're gonna save that till our baseball preview show.
Yes.
So.
You said your finger was a gun.
It's such a great movie for a number of reasons, and that line is one of them.
Oh, fantastic movie! Every time James Earl Jones opens his mouth in that movie, it's fantastic.
It means we're going to Minnesota to find Moonlight Graham.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just amazing.
I love the part where they show back up at the field and they introduce him to his wife's brother and he's like, "Hi, I'm the Easter Bunny," and he just starts laughing. Makes me crack up for some reason.
It's because he's a ginger. That's why he was laughing.
Something like that.
Nothing against gingers.
Poor Tim Busfield.
I love soulless people. What's up?
All right, so A-Rod is apparently ready to come back and play baseball, and the Yankees want him to apologize, and have even offered to use Yankee Stadium as his theater, if you will, to make a public apology. I'm not even going to ask you whether you agree or disagree. What's your take on this whole issue of A-Rod coming back?
You're a
Yankee fan.
It's not surprising. The Yankees are stuck. They owe him so much that they either get rid of him and take the biggest wash in sports history, or they allow him to come in and DH and try to do something, which, I mean, they're damned if they do, damned if they don't. That's their current situation. And it's sad because you see this 39-year-old egotistical douchebag. I can't really think of any other word to describe him. Trying to make people believe that he's remorseful and that he's changed. It doesn't happen. At his age, with everything that he's done and gotten away with and said, his life jumped the shark as soon as Cameron Diaz put a piece of popcorn in his mouth. That was it. He's never been the same, and he never will be. And for the fact that he's trying to run around and apologize and calling teammates and trying to talk, you're completely fake. And it's I don't know if there's anything he could ever do to prove otherwise.
Yeah, no, it's like the ship has sailed. I mean, like somebody needs to pull Alex aside and be like, "Dude, it's over." You had a good run. It's over.
Yeah. And I was a big supporter of his when he came to the Yankees. I've never been a big fan of their, throwing tons of money at these older players, but there was only suspicions of steroids at that point, so I was still a fan of his. But then after everything that's happened, he's the worst thing that could happen to Major League Baseball right now.
So let's pretend that we can jump into an alternate universe. And that let's just pretend that he wasn't suspended for a year because of the whole biogenesis line thing or whatever. Let's just pretend that he missed a year due to injury. Now he comes back. He's the oldest player on the roster at 39 years old. He's the longest tenured player on the roster at 20 years in the majors. And he's still got that gigantic $22 million price tag on his head. Oh, don't worry, Yankee fans. $21 million next year, or $21 million in 2017 before that contract is over.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's no salary cap in baseball, but you look at some of the contracts that the Yankees have right now. Mark Teixeira, 35 years. He's in the middle of an 8-year, $180 million contract that is over after next year. Teixeira will cost them $23.12 million next year as well. CC Sabathia, in the middle of an 8-year, $182 million contract that will pay him $23 million this year, $25 million next year. A-Rod, $22 million. Masahiro Tanaka, just starting a 7-year, $155 million. They're on the hook to him for $22 million until 2019.
Oh.
Jacoby Ellsbury, 30. Tanaka's the only one under 30 that I'm mentioning here. Ellsbury's 31 now. They signed him to 7 years, $153 million last year, $21.14 million until 2020, with a 2021 team option. Brian McCann, 5 years, $85 million, $17 million a year. They're paying Brian McCann at 31.
Yeah.
Beltran, $15 million this year. Carlos Beltran, 38 years old, making $15 million. Chase Headley, 31 years old. There is nobody of consequence besides Tanaka and Ivan Nova that's under 31.
Yeah.
On this roster. You want to say Michael Pineda? Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. The Yankees are teetering on something similar, although it's completely different because the salary cap changes everything, but to the Lakers apocalypse. And how the Lakers have fallen off the map as far as talent. The only thing that the Yankees have going for them is that they're the Yankees, and they're in Major League Baseball that you can spend as much as you want to put a good product on the field.
See, but with what you just said, it reminds me of the Lakers, but not the current Lakers. It reminds me of the Lakers during the season. They had Gary Payton and Karl Malone, and they brought in these old, used to be great, still had talent, but just didn't have the steam to go an entire season. And I think that's the problem with this team is most of those players have had injury issues, especially Teixeira. Serious injury issues over the last few years. So the likelihood that any of them are going to be able to play half the season is very low, especially someone like A-Rod. Even if he only DHs, at his age, the only way he could possibly last a season is if he is still using some kind of performance-enhancing drug, be it HGH or something. Because his body has already been beaten down by taking those, I'm going to say chemicals. That's pretty much what they are. And then it destroys your body over years. And you think he's been taking them now could possibly be close to 20 years.
Yeah.
So he's not going to have much left.
Yeah, somebody needs, and again, the Yankees can't force him. They're not going to cut him because they're still going to owe him all that money.
Yeah.
But somebody needs to have a heart-to-heart with Alex Rodriguez and just be like, it's time to just go away. Seriously.
The only person that I think can have that kind of heart-to-heart with him is somebody from the family, if you know what I'm talking about.
It would have to be Jeter.
What's that?
It would have to be Jeter.
No, that's not the kind of family I'm talking about.
Oh, you mean the family.
Yeah,
La
because
Familia.
there's still families like that in New York City, and I think you need to get a couple of the guys, take them on a little drive like the old school days. Because other than that, I don't think there's anyone or anything that is going to keep him from playing.
I hear what you're saying, but
he's too arrogant. He's too arrogant.
Yeah, it would have to be a respected Yankee, and I don't know how involved Jeter is with the team still, but I think it would have to be somebody with that level of respect in the organization to just kind of pull him aside and be like, "What are you doing?"
Dude, they could dig up Mickey Mantle and Babe Ruth and sit them down with him, and he would still tell them to go fuck themselves.
Yeah,
or go F themselves. I'm sorry.
Whoa!
You know, we're talking about A-Rod, and I get fired up, and I just blew the iTunes.
You just killed it. Now they get the explicit label on it, and dear God.
I can't help it. We can't talk about A-Rod. It gets me all fired up.
Apparently.
It's like talking about DHs.
The end all be all of existence. All right, so staying on the Yankee track, the Yankees recently announced in the last couple of days that Andy Pettitte, Bernie Williams, and Jorge Posada's got their numbers retired by the Yankees. I know that Yankee fans love all those guys, and they meant a lot to the organizations, but are they all really worthy of number retiring?
Oh, absolutely.
Seriously? I mean,
Absolutely.
You think about all the numbers that have been retired by the
Yankees. For what those three players, I mean, really, it's that whole group. You know, those three, Jeter and Mariano, and then you could even throw in Paul O'Neill, but I mean, he's not really part of that group. That group came up together. They were all young players. They were there for all the championships. They were all vital to all the championships in the 90s and early 2000s. You know, they were all major components. And for a team, now if you're saying should they all be like put in the Hall of Fame first ballot, no, that's a different story. But for what impact they had on the Yankees, I absolutely think their number should be retired. Absolutely.
See, I'm looking, and you know how I love my similarity scores on Baseball Reference. And Andy Pettitte is similar. His stats compare to Mike Mussina, David Wells, Jack Morris, Kevin Brown, Bob Welch, CC Sabathia, ironically, Carl Hubble, who is in the Hall of Famer, Kenny Rogers, Louis Tiant, and Oral Hershiser. That's not bad company. It's really not bad company at all. But it's like when I think of the Yankees retiring numbers, I'm thinking about like all-time greats. I mean, Pettitte, I'll give you.
Yes.
I don't know if Bernie Williams is an all-time great.
He is one of the best clutch hitters, especially in the postseason, that the Yankees have had in many, 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 many years. I mean, if you remember the majority of their postseason games, Bernie would always come up with the big hit, be it a home run, be it a single. And you could say the same thing for Posada, but not only his hitting, but all of the great pitchers that they've had over the last 20 years, 30 years, you know, a lot of them any of them that played with Posada said that he pretty much helped them be the kind of player that they were.
Not Posada.
And so you can't look at somebody like Andy Pettitte or like Mariano Rivera without looking at Jorge Posada also and what impact he had on their careers.
Not Posada, Bernie Williams.
No, but I switched. I'm going from Bernie to Posada.
Oh, okay, I got you. I
already said Bernie was just a clutch hitter.
Yeah, because
he was a big-time clutch hitter, especially in the postseason. So that alone, I mean, and it's Bernie Williams. He was a live and die